What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction. Back for the first time in a couple months with an Ultravox reaction, and we are continuing through Lament, 1984. Thank you again to Phil. And the next track is When the Time Comes, which speaks to the appropriate moment for some event or some eventuality, some occurrence, which is linked to a process, sequence, or independent measure of time, and thus there is a suggestion maybe that someone is looking for some event, looking for some outcome or circumstance which has not yet reached its appropriate moment, and thus someone maybe is replying, well, when the time comes, this or that will happen. Now, that could be prescriptive, saying, or normative, like, when the time comes, I'll be there to help. Now, until then, you'll have to take care of things and so on. But when the time comes, you can count on me. So I feel like it could be more of a, let's say, scientific assessment, or it could be more about commitment, or what's the appropriate word? I was going to say like sponsorship. That's not quite what I mean, but the willingness of someone or something to impact the circumstances when that time comes. So obviously this could have nothing to do with the tune, but that's what the phrase made me think of. Let's give it a listen. This is Ultravox. The tune is When the Time Comes, and it's from their 1984 album Lament. a long fade but a sudden drop off. So yeah, lots going on sonically. You know, these like kind of big keyboards and a couple different kits, you know, sort of sounding organ like and so on. But these little trills, one that sounded more true piano, then one that was very fluttery and electric, and then there's that synth bass kind of with a bit of funk to it, but you know, sort of winding and flourishing up and then coming back down. And then at the end, the guitar was actually standing out and getting a bit 80s epic. And I did enjoy the vocals overall, which, like, the main vocals almost had a bit of, like, Gary Newman quality to them, but then there were those long extensions, which I very much enjoyed, and it, you know, the vocals got a bit more epic in the back half of the tune. So sonically and vocally, very cool track. Lyrically, I'm interested because at first I thought it was just like two people, and it seemed like it was saying, like, it was almost like a critique of this, I'm going to say, woman, but the idea that, like, you know, I'll cry when the time comes, but it's like he's critiquing her by saying, like, you know, it's just like you to scorn the only one who mourns, like, what was the line? It was something about, like, you know, what a pair of lovers or something, like, you know, going down, like, our heaven has turned into a hell. So it seems to be a relationship that's starting to go bad, and the narrator's saying, like, you've now turned on me. The moment and that's my question, like, is there a third person? Because it's like he's referring to himself in the third person, but whoever he is, either narrator or someone else, it's like they're saying that the moment he didn't love you the way you had become accustomed to or expected, you turned on him, you became scornful, you cut the thread, you put a stop to it, you severed the connection. And it's like he's saying, you know, there was maybe something that could still be salvaged, or the feeling was still here, but the moment you got a sense that it wasn't what it used to be, you turned and you became the one who's making it a hell, and you're the one who now is, you know, sort of attacking the only one who really did care, the only one who was deeply sympathetic. So yeah, it seems like a critique of this other person, which again, I'm just sort of identifying as a woman, but I do wonder whether the narrator is different from the he, because that again would very much change the dynamic. It wouldn't be a one-to-one, but it'd almost be like an observer commenting on this relationship that's broken up. But again, it seems like other lines, he's like referring to himself as being part of this, and the heaven turning to a hell and so on. So yeah, that's what I took away from it. The idea that when the time comes, he'll show emotion, but right now, he's more surprised and disappointed by this other person for turning so quickly and going from sympathetic to judgmental and scornful and so on. So yeah, do let me know how close or far away from the themes here that is. Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.